Good evening to everybody. On behalf of Dr. KK Heartcare Funds of India, Dr. KK SCFI, I welcome all of you to our 96 weekly webinar. And topic for today's session is the climate change care for children. And just to give before going to further to our host, our other co-host at Vaji, I just want to give the little background. We all are observing the impact of climate change and global warming. And across the globe, hot days are getting hotter and more frequent. Heat waves are becoming more common and intense heat waves are more frequent. We have seen in Delhi also, the April month, the average temperature was more than 40 and the temperature even more than 43 sometime. So we have already observed that the heat waves in the Delhi also. I think hottest April in I think second hottest in the 72 years that was. So extreme heat can increase the risk of disasters, and as per the different studies, more than 5 million people each year across the world die due to extreme temperature. And as per the latest study, which was published in the Lancet Planetary Health, a 3.7 degree rise in temperature by 2100 from the pre-industrial level can unleash fatal outbreaks of malaria and dengue. And at this level of warming, some 4.7 billion more people may be at risk from this deadly disease than during 1970-99. So we just already seeing the impact every day, the particular summer becoming hotter. Key climate risks include the flood, droughts, heat waves, cold waves, and cyclones. And more vulnerable areas are agriculture, food, water, coastal area, health, forestry, and other natural ecosystem. Globally, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which was adopted in 1992 as the global collective response to the issue of climate change. After a series of meetings, the Paris Agreement was adopted during COP21 held in 2015. And this agreement basically binds all nations to under the ambitious efforts to combat climate change. This agreement aims at holding the increase in global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level, and to pursue efforts to limit the temperature increase even further to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Nationally determined contributions to reduce emission intensity of GDP by 32-35% by 2030 from 2000 levels was also the part of this agreement. After in India also, we had achieved a good kind of NDC during after the Paris Agreement. Recently, last year, in November 2021, COP26 at Glasgow, it was held. This was also securing commitment of global net zero by mid-century and keep 1.5 degrees Celsius within reach. India made 5 great commitments. It is bringing its non-fossil fuel energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030, fulfill 50% of energy requirement for renewable energy by 2030, to cut down its net projected carbon emissions by 1 million tons from now until 2030, bring down carbon intensity of its economy by more than 45%, and achieve target of net zero by 2070 carbon emissions. So as per we are developing country, so instead of 2050, we have the net zero target of 2070. Government of India made National Action Plan on Climate Change and other time to time revisions were there. The state have made their state action plan on climate change. A lot of actions are being done by the state government with the help of all the stakeholders, including schools, colleges or other institutions. And Delhi also, when by chance today we have two person were in the Department of Environment. Myself, I was the Director Environment in Delhi government for 10 years. And my colleague who is there, who was also the Director in the Pondicherry government and the Member Secretary Pondicherry Pollution Control Board, Dr. M. Dwarkanath. He was in Department of Environment for about 20 years in Delhi also. And he has done the great work for the Delhi pollution and Delhi environment and also in the Eco Club. So we'll discuss both the things. He is the speaker today. So before going to the speaker, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our co-host for today's session. First, Dr. Ragini Kaul, Madam, who is a principal, Max Foods Senior Secondary School, Paschim Bihar. Namaskar, Madam.
Thank you, Dr.
Dr. Neeraj Bora, Principal, St. Province School, Senior Secondary School, and Ms. Shusha P. Roy, PRO and Counselor, Evergreen Public School, Basant. So before inviting speaker, now I invite Dr. Ragini Kaul to say a few words for today's session.
Thank you, Dr. Anil Kumar, for that nice introduction. And we are equally overwhelmed to be here on this platform today. You already said most of the briefs that I was thinking of talking, but just a quick glance for all the audiences here. They say that a nation that destroys its soil destroys itself. Forests are the lungs of our land, purifying air and thereby strengthening the ecosystem. Good evening, everyone. Today, we all are here to discuss something that the environmentalists and the scientists have been saying for long. But now there's a dire need to get going by acting ASAP. We know climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns, mainly caused by human activities, unfortunately, which are many. We all have seen the impact of the global warming in the recent years, like Dr. Anil Kumar rightly said. Let's, for example, see this year's Delhi temperatures. March, April crossing 40 degrees, the sultry weather taking its toll on each one of us. Some parts of Rajasthan touching 50, oh my God. And isn't this something that we are responsible for ourselves? Climate change is happening globally, we all know it. Europe, Australia, parts of US, all are facing the wrath. Look at the devastating bushfires that California or Australia, or for that matter, we in India too have been witnessing. Now, what is the need of the hour? It is to re-educate ourselves, and schools and educational institutions are the best places where this awareness can happen. This is where global challenges have to be addressed at the macro level in the form of global solidarity. Let's remember, we did not inherit this planet from our ancestors, but we borrowed it from our children. Hence, let's pledge to leave them a rich legacy. A big thank you to the HeartCare Foundation for bringing us all together on this unique platform, from where we'll try to collaborate and ring in the desired change through numerous activities. Today, let me have the honor of introducing our speaker for the evening. We welcome Dr. Dwarkanath.
Before going to speaker, I think that other our two co-hosts that I'll invite, then later on, I think the speaker.
I can't get you, sir.
We have the co-host, so I'll invite first these two co-hosts.
All right.
Dr. Neeraj Bora, Principal, St. Paul Senior Secondary School. Madam, you want to? Yeah.
Yes. A very good evening to all present here. It is such a pleasure to be here again. It's actually after a very long time we all are meeting here, and very nice to hear everybody. Sir, great things you have already covered, like whatever I actually wanted to convey, and Ragini ma'am has also told that, climate change, of course, is becoming a major issue. And I would say that 2020, which was the year when we all saw COVID-19, the unprecedented year. But actually, if you ask me, NASA report says that it is the hottest year. And because of the atmospheric carbon dioxide levels, which were reaching the highest ever. Secondly, the decade 2010 and 2019 was also the hottest decade as per the history. Now, climate crisis, if you see in children, it's actually causing a lot of problems. A lot of health issues are coming up. We in schools also see children are coming up with lots and lots of problems related to health, and that's mainly because of the climate change. Actually, in the initial stages, if you see, when the immune system of a child is still developing, that is a time when, if they are not getting the proper environment, proper climate, they tend to develop problems. They tend to have n number of ailments that develop. We have seen children at a very young age coming up with asthma, because they are allergic to dust, they are allergic to pollen, and all these problems starts at a very early stage. While I remember when we were kids, when we were young, or our parents when they were young, I don't think they ever faced these sort of problems. So it's mainly because of the climate change, all these problems are coming up. Another thing that I feel is because of the hot weather outside, children are generally confined to the four walls. They don't move out. And of course, COVID was also there, which was not allowing everybody to move out. But then because of all this, children are confined to, their phones, their laptops, their TV. As a result, again, eye issues, obesity problem, all these problems are cropping up again. As an educationist, I feel that, we should incorporate the knowledge about the climate change in our curriculum. And that topic should be given equal importance as we give importance to other subjects. And definitely, if we prepare our children at this stage, they are going to have a skill of the 21st century. In 2015, they gave all the 17 sustainable development goals. Out of that, the 13th sustainable development goal is of the climate change only. And the target of United Nations is that by 2030, they should put some action to this climate crisis. And they should rather they should be able to combat this climate crisis and its impact. And we should prepare our children, and we should also be part of it, of course. Then only we can overcome these problems. And I'm looking forward to hearing from both of you, sir, Anil Kumar, sir, and the speaker of the day. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Before a speaker, just 2 minutes, I just request Ms. Susati Roy, PRO Counselor working in public school, to say very brief few words, then we can further invite our speaker.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Anil sir. Good evening and a hearty welcome to all the wonderful dignitaries present on this amazing platform. You know what? I have been a part of this, Heartcare Foundation's webinars, but from the other side. And I feel it's a great honor to be right here co-hosting with such wonderful dignitaries out here. So a very special warm welcome to our eminent speaker of the day, Dr. M. Dwarkanath, ex-Director, Department of Science, Technology and Environment, and ex-Member Secretary, Puducherry Pollution Control Committee, and the Government of Puducherry Speaker. Sir's expertise, I was reading, lies in EIA, environmental legislations, compliances, different kinds of waste management, water and air pollution, coastal pollution and management, sustainability, environmental awareness, environmental health, and climate change. Welcome, sir, once again. And a very warm welcome to my co-hosts, Dr. Ragini Kaul, Principal Maxford Senior Secondary School, Dr. Neeraj Vora, Principal Tiksha Public School. And of course, a hearty welcome to you, Dr. Anil. In fact, it's amazing the way you had given the introduction. I think you had taken all the points that I would have loved to, talk about, just like Neeraj ma'am and Ragini ma'am was saying. And I'm really happy that I know Dr. Naina is not here in this platform right now, but it's wonderful that she is such a dynamic lady who's quietly but surely making sure that the flame ignited by our dearly loved Dr. K.K. Agarwal continues to, be alive, burning really bright. There's a lot that's been spoken about on climate change and how humans are increasingly influencing the climate and Earth's temperature by burning fossil fuels and cutting down forests. We all know that children are the most vulnerable to any disaster, isn't it? As escalating droughts and flooding degrade food production, children are going to bear the brunt of all this. I will not take much time because I know all of us are eager to hear Dr. Dwarkanath and Dr. Anil, out. So let's actually fill up our kitty with the knowledge and wisdom that this wonderful two dignitaries are going to give us. So over to you, Dr. Anil, to take
Thank
from
you.
here and moderate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I request Dr. Ragini ma'am to formally take over the further the session, moderate the session, and the request to formally request to a speaker to take further. Over to Dr. Ragini ma'am.
Dr. Dwarkanathji, former Director, Department of Science and Technology and Environment, and former Member Secretary, Pondicherry Pollution Board. Dr. Dwarkanathji, what a pleasure it is to have you on board, talking to all of us, the educationists, the parents, the teacher fraternity, and the students. I can't tell you how eagerly we are waiting to listen to you, but I would like to tell the audience that what an honor it is for each one of us, because I can assure you that after leaving, after the session is over, we will be more enlightened and more empowered, because listening to such eminent speaker is once in a lifetime opportunity, with the kind of experience that Dr. Dwarkanathji has had, the kind of experiential learning he has undergone himself. Thank you so much, Dr. Dwarkanathji, for taking time off your busy schedule. I know how busy you must be, and fighting for a cause that has to be very, very close to each one of us now, each one of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good afternoon. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. K.K. Agarwal Foundation for providing me this opportunity, and especially to Dr. Anil Kumar, my colleague and good friend for the lifetime. Friends are lost for lifetime, so we are friends forever. We knew each other some 25 years back. From then onwards, there is no looking back. We are there forever for each other. And thank you, Dr. Ragini, Dr. Neeraj, and Madam Susha Rai. All of you have given me a platform from where I can take over. But after seeing the topic for the day, I thought it will be more wise to leave the healthcare aspect of climate change for children to the healthcare professionals. So I am not going to touch on the healthcare aspect of that particular aspect. What I am only one thing, what I will try, whether government advisory or government advisory is not there. Please try to protect the children and also self by wearing mask, whether it is pandemic or not. When pollution is more, wear mask. Especially the 3 or 4 months of winter, let us not get into the debate which mask from which date we have to wear, whether we have to wear or not. All of us know it is going to any dust, irrespective of the amount. If it enters the nose, it is going to reduce our respiratory rate. So that being the case, it is always better to protect us with the mask. And then, sorry, I don't know. Am I audible now? Anil?
Yes, okay,
yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes, sir. If protect yourself with the mask during the winter, and if it is more in the summer, means try to wet the handkerchief and the mask and then use it as often as possible. These two are the protective measures that one can go. I now take from what Dr. Neeraj madam was telling, that as educationist, what we have to concentrate is on creating more and more awareness. For this platform is meant for. And I am having a small presentation. I would like to go ahead with that. Sapna? Yes, sir. I always, there is a global proverb coined in 1970s saying that it is think globally, act locally. I wish to change it as think locally and act locally. For the last 3 years, wherever I am giving the presentation, I am always saying think locally and act locally. Enough we have thought about globally, but now let us see locally and then see what locally can be done. Next. There is a Chinese proverb, being in the educational field, all of you might be knowing, if you are thinking 1 year ahead, plant rice. If you are thinking a decade ahead, plant trees. If you are thinking a century ahead, plant and educate people. That's what we are all there. And I place on record my appreciation and the entire community's appreciation for the teachers, folks, and the management of various schools which have participated here, because you are doing a much greater service than all of us over here. And salute to all the teachers, institutions for doing this great service, and also to the wonderful students. Next. Mahatma Gandhi always said that nature has got everything for our need, but not to our greeds. So today, because of our over consumption and over income, especially in the urban areas, our over consumption has increased, and that has increased to all kind of better exploitation of resources, and also huge wastage of resources. And because of this, we have impartiality here and there between the urban and rural, and among the states and among the nations. There is a great poet in Tamil who used to say, before asking what the nation has done to us, you ask yourself what you have done to the nation. He has put this in a song which has become very philosophical and very famous, that before asking what the government or nation has done for us, one need to think what I have done to that. So every small drop counts, and it makes an ocean. And together, let us hope, after hearing my lecture, we can. So I am putting around 60 odd drops. In my presentation, I am sharing some 60 odd thoughts, which each of you can think over and take it to the children, and also disseminate at various platforms wherever you can. Next. Only one thing is required: a green thinking and being a mad person. Mad means it is not in literal sense. You can take it in the literal sense also, or in the mad means make a difference person. If I am, or in this platform, we are discussing environment and what we can do for 1 hour, we should make a difference. It is not going to be just like any other seminar, but our thoughts and our ideas, that what we share, should be carried forward and it should be implemented. That is what I am looking for. I am a mad person. Next. See, everything starts because of haphazard planning. On the left, I have given what are the things that one need to do before committing any activity or any routine work. And what will happen if you don't plan? And without planning, you start anything, it will result in exploitation of wastage of resources, and also it will result in wastage of money. So one has to think, plan before doing any of the act, like long-term holistic approach, and you have to have conservation thinking, and you should act only if needed. Otherwise, don't purchase. You should be self-contented, and you should follow simple habit, and you should have a planned life, organized way of working, and also putting systems in place. Because we know on our day-to-day office work or school work or in government office work, we know what are all the things that we need. If so, you put everything in a system in place, then nothing will go as a waste. On the contrary, on the right side, if you have haphazard thinking or short-term planning, you will get into problems and you will waste unnecessary resources, and also you will waste, it will result in wastage of money. No need to say, whenever resources are wasted, greenhouse gases emission and associated climatic effects are also going to be increased. Next. I have tried to put it in a different format so that, it can be very easy, like that of a cartoon or individual character saying, avoid plastic bags. This is known to Delhi because we started Say No to Plastic campaign way back in 2000 or so. because for many of you, you may not be knowing, I served for more than 23 years in the same Department of Environment, Delhi government, but I was handling different things other than environmental education. Though I only started eco clubs in schools and colleges of Delhi, but I was never in the limelight because not much activity was there. But since after Dr. Sabath joined, more of activity was there. So Eco Club scheme had come into limelight, and we started with 100 schools way back in 94, 95. It later on got converted to 500 schools and then to 1,000 schools. Now we have Eco Clubs for more than 2,000 schools. So I started with the Delhi government only before going to Pondicherry government. So I know all the programs of Delhi government. Say no to shoes and ties. For children who come with 40 degree or 43 degree centigrade in Delhi, have at least weekly one day, give them respite, ask them to come without shoes and without ties. Nothing, heavens are not going to fall. In winter, I can still understand, but in Delhi's hot summer, it can be a campaign that you should say no to shoes in Delhi's summer, for the children at least. And that will give them a lot of respite. And then beware of chemical exposure for all our day-to-day chemicals, starting from kajal, perfume, and our soap what we use, and also the paste what we use, and a number of other day-to-day gadgets and chemicals filled with chemicals, cocktail of chemicals. We don't know, we know as a scientist, we know, but as a public, many of you don't know about their adverse impact. So before purchasing any of the day-to-day chemicals that you make in contact with your skin, think twice and to have as an informed consumer, purchase which is skin friendly. And reply when you are replying to the emails. If you know, like I am replying to Dr. Anil Kumar and Dr. Anil Kumar is replying to me back, instead of replying with the reply option, I can compose the mail again and then I can say what I have to say. This will say data transfer lesser. Every MB of data transfer is associated with the carbon dioxide emissions. Data transfer or the video transfer or the memes transfer or the PowerPoint transfer, everything comes with the associated with the climate change and then greenhouse gases emission. So instead of reply all mode, you reply to only to the desired person's mode. Don't always use reply all mode. Reply all mode means it goes, all the trailing mail goes to all the people, whether you intend to reply them or not. So never use reply all mode. You reply only to the person to whom you want to reply. This saves a lot of data. We are not aware. Knowingly and unknowingly, the companies which has formed the internet, they gave the option, but many of us don't use the option. We just click reply all mode and reply mode, wherein all the previous trailing mails also get transported every time that you converse with each other. And then not to open the video mode whenever it is not required. I also generally don't keep the video on. Just now I switched it off. I noticed now only. Reduce the use of electronic gadgets to the maximum extent possible. In the pandemic, it became the order of the day. Now we are out of pandemic. So ask the children, and also we as parents, we should reduce the electrical and electronic gadgets usage to the maximum extent possible. And not to keep internet or data card open all the time. Only open when it is required. That avoids unnecessary automatic downloading of data or figures and facts. And over purchasing, over consumption has become the order of the day because our GDP has increased. But think before you purchase anything. And instead of 3R concept, use 8R concept. What are the 8Rs I have given in my forthcoming slides? Use energy, money, and resources effectively. These are all very important because anything you conserve, it has a direct impact on the climate change because it is going to reduce the greenhouse gases emission. Next. Have a vision and commitment for the institution like college or school. Have a vision and commitment. What is required is my institution will be a green institution. That is the one-line commitment or vision you should have, and act as an informed consumer when you purchase individual things like that of kajal, perfume, or toothpaste or soap, whatever we use. You always look for the skin effect and then purchase. Don't go with the brand value or the cost alone. Eco-friendly function, being from the schools, always conduct eco-friendly function. 32 different items are used which are not disposable, which are non-disposable. So use those items, replace with the disposable items. Start from the flux from now onwards. Whichever school which is listening to this presentation, have your eco-friendly functions. Replace the flux with white paper and call a tailor and painter. They will do the painting for you, and for doing the painting, the tailor will stitch the vegetables and fruits for the desired letters. Many institutions, they do, many marriages also they do this. So please conduct all your functions as eco-friendly functions. Say no to meat products in the functions. Say no to leather or plastic products in the functions. Refuse and think before buying. I told tree plantation and maintaining it for those institutions in Delhi. I need not stress. There is a 2018 study which says more than 80% of the planet is still filled with greenery. Despite the deforestation and many of other industrial growth and infrastructural growth, overall, we have close to 80% of planet is greenery. So we should conserve, preserve, and then nurture trees as much as possible. That is the one reason I always used to tell, before asking the nation what we have done, let us ask ourselves what we are doing for it. Conserve all the resources, be it energy, be it water, or be it any other kind of usable resources. Be a conservationist and reformist, and also restore water bodies in and around your surroundings, or fund for restoration. That will go a long way in protecting the environment and avoid and minimize waste generation within your premises. Next. Don't waste paper and recycle it. That being the educational institution, I need not stress upon these things. Ask the student to always recycle the paper, because for each roll of paper we cut so many trees, and ask them to use cloth bags. One household, if you replace for purchase of your fruit, vegetable, and bread, and your eggs, and your day-to-day groceries, we use around 5 plastic bags in a day. If one household reduces this 5 plastic bags in a day, in a year, each household can reduce 4 to 5 kilograms of plastic bags. Though there is an outright ban on single-use plastic, still all of us know that the plastic bags are available, and since it is available, we are also, without any excuse, we are also using it. My sincere request to all of you and to the students to whom you will be preaching this is totally avoid plastic bag. Each household can save 4 to 5 kilogram of plastic going into the environment. And maintain optimum tire pressure while driving. That will reduce fuel consumption, and also maintain optimum speed, and purchase star labeled energy efficient products, and use renewable energy wherever possible for your light generation, or for your water heating, or for your steam generation. And avoid personal vehicles as much as possible. Use private vehicles or school buses, and switch off traffic signals. Though we know all these things, many of these things we know, but my only re-emphasizing this is, are we doing it? Despite knowing this, are we doing it? If you don't know and though you don't do it, then there is an excuse. But if we know, and also despite knowing we are not doing it, it is as an educator, it is our role to re-emphasize again and again to all of us ourselves. And install energy efficient gadgets and water efficient taps in our respective institution, because energy efficiency in laptop and in computer, if it is energy efficient, we are going to save power, and indirectly we are going to reduce greenhouse gases emission. And the same is the case with water. We will be conserving water by using energy efficient tap. and showers. But if otherwise, we will be increasing our otherwise we will be increasing our greenhouse gases emission. So we have to do that. Say no to alcohol and tobacco use. To all the school children, school teachers and principal, again and again re-emphasize this on the students. It is very important to say these two things, along with when they drive helmet, two-wheelers, they have to wear helmets. Please, each day you have emphasis these three things, that to wear the helmet and also say no to alcohol and tobacco use. Next. Eco-friendly functions, I told 32 different items have to be substituted. These are some of them. Have a tailor instead of a painter. Have a white cloth for flux board. Give ink pen for pencil instead of refill pens. Ask the participant to bring their own kits. Use vegetable like lady's finger or green and red chilies, carrot, etc. for letters. Have jute or cloth bags instead of plastics. Everything starts with the commitment of green thinking and planning, which I am telling. It does not cost more, contrary to the belief. If you put the systems in place, everything will be at par cost only, each with the conventional function. Allocate budget even if it is little bit more costly, because all of us want to be eco-friendly. How you can be eco-friendly, I have given. Whenever you are planning functions in your schools or colleges, have a commitment, even if it is 10% more costly, I will purchase only all recyclable things, not use and throw things. And have a green purchase policy for your entire institution, and have a periodic training for capacity building to all the people, including the accounts and administration involved, because they are the ultimate people who are going to sanction the budget. Next. For the institution, till now I was touching upon the individual. Now eco-friendly function is for the institution, and involve a multidisciplinary team with the training for this. Involve children, they will come up with much more ideas than what I have given. Have recyclables, washable cutleries rather than use and throw. Avoid all use and throw cutleries. Organize vegetarian menu, because non-vegetarian menu increases carbon emissions and the greenhouse gases. And strictly say no to meat in functions. Avoid, advise participant not to waste food, because food takes a lot of effort to come as a food, and also after cooking also it takes a lot of effort and resources. So advise all the participant and also children not to never waste food. And be strict with the caterer about your oil and masala. This is for the schools. Be strict with your caterer and your school canteen. Never ask them to put more oil and masala. Let them have organic food, like many organic foods can be there. Boiled vegetables, boiled soup, and then boiled peanuts, the boiled corn. They can have a number of other items rather than fried oiled items. If the children want to eat, let them eat outside your school. Why the school should be giving the option of giving them the fried items? Let them eat what is good for them. AIMS has come with a study, if I remember 15 years back, that obesity is there in Delhi school children. Despite that, school children, neither the education department has put any regulation. I don't know whether the schools on themselves has to self-control themselves about the fried items that are sold in the school canteens. It increases the greenhouse gases also, and it is good for the health of the children also. And whenever possible, use the natural light in the conference room and in the classes. If possible, conduct renewable energy powered halls. You can have the functions. Avoid paper and paper-based products to a maximum extent. Next. Give pen drives instead of printed materials in the conference and in the workshops. Never print anything. Instead, give a pen drive or send the material in advance to the participants by email. And then organize sending email for PowerPoint presentation and our case study material, etc. Use flower extract for room fresheners rather than chemical room fresheners. And then start the program after lunch, which we have started doing in Delhi government. We used to start the program after lunch. It saves money, energy, and also greenhouse gases to a great extent. And have recyclable straws or avoid such menus, and then give saplings as ornamental plant to the guest speakers and mementos, which we have started doing in Delhi government long back itself, and do not print on files and kits, so as the same can be used in the next function also, if at all you have to give the kit. Next. Here I have put all money. Why? All these things are going to save money also. These ideas not only going to conserve resource, it is going to save money, it is going to reduce greenhouse gas emissions also. So I have put money here. Keep and serve water in glasses rather than bottles. Do not keep tissue papers, keep hand towels or give a kerchief, let them go and reuse it. Have e-invitation or write in a handkerchief and give as an invitation. Use clean fuel powered vehicle wherever possible. Buy recyclable products. Avoid any packed bakery item. Rather, identify your own bakery and ask them to prepare fresh so that you will avoid packaging waste. Have homemade chocolates instead of packed chocolates and then give it to the participants. Buy and use energy efficiency gadgets, appliances and instruments in your institution. That will go a long way in long-term use of your equipment. It will conserve a lot of energy. Purchase locally available grown manufactured product, especially fruits and vegetables, rather than purchasing kiwi from outside. Have digital photography. Avoid completely paper photography. Avoid flower bucket and instead give saplings or fruit basket or handicraft product. Avoid silk and leather products. If your office has space, if your school has space, develop gardens and use those products. You can use those vegetables or fruits in your own canteen. Yeah, so it will help. Organic farming also will be there. It will be a project work for the students for socially productive usage classes. And if your music is played, remember this is another very important thing. In a closed auditorium, it should be only 20 decibels. Beyond 20 decibels, it is going to affect headache, BP, and also fatigueness, and also a long-term effect of loss of hearing will be there. Please emphasize this to the students so that even if they are listening to the personal music system at their home or wherever they go, they should be only 20 to 25 decibels only, it should be there. And purchase loose milk instead of fresh milk from the packed milk. It will avoid a lot of packaging during functions. Prepare fresh juice, avoid canned juice or tinned product or tetra packed product. Avoid processed and canned food and drinks. Avoid storing food with BPA coated containers because it leaches and it affects it enters the food chain. Have egg-free pastries and bakery items. Next. Avoid vampire power consumption because the energy efficient power gadgets you should purchase, or otherwise, even if it is in sleep mode, 15 to 20% of power is being consumed. That is called as vampire power. So whenever you are purchasing instruments and equipments, you please look for vampire power consumption by the particular equipment. That will be 15 to 20%. Then you go for energy efficient, less vampire power consuming equipment, even though if it is little bit costly. Switch off the lights when session breaks is there, and have arrangement with homes or orphanages for supplying excess food or leftover food, and make compost out of it. Making compost out of it within your own campus is one biggest thing which can avoid methane emissions, which otherwise it will go to the landfill and then which will generate methane. So have a compost pit ready and put trained manpower there. They will give you fantastic compost every 15 days. And set a thermostat 1 to 2 degree higher temperature in your room when functions are there. Avoid thermocol items for decoration completely. Put plastic bags in a plastic bottle before you throw, so that one plastic bottle can consume thousands of plastic bags if you keep on putting it in it with a stick, so that you can throw plastic and you can construct a small hut using decorative hut using that plastic bags and plastic bottles. This will help animals and who eat them, and it will be easier for garbage segregation also, and it will prevent choking the drain pipes and save space in the dustbin. Next. Have green vision for the institution. I told the institution, treat the institution as your own and do activities accordingly, rather than treating it as a working place. Treat the institution as your own, then that commitment and more sincerity will come. Construct the green building. If the institution is going for expansion, allow natural ventilation and natural lighting to a great extent possible, and then you can have glass panels instead of walls. It consumes a lot of less energy, but you have to air condition it. That is there. Have a green purchase policy. It may cost a bit, but it become a habit. How it becomes a habit? If you are particular about a particular soap or perfume or toothpaste, we, instead of looking for the cost, we always purchase. So the institution should have a green purchase policy. So even if it is little costlier, you will purchase only eco-friendly products. Commitment from the top management with financial outlay is very much essential. You can tap CSR funds from your suppliers of the book, suppliers of the uniform, and your suppliers of the notes, and suppliers of the construction material. For if you have rented out for the canteen, you can ask all of them to chip in with their funds so that you can have different eco-friendly activities and sustain it in your campaign complex. And then train all the management, faculties, teaching staff, non-teaching staff, all your suppliers, etc., and make a commitment to them, and institute an award during your annual function for all the categories, especially to the non-teaching and to the sanitary staff. Next. This is the 8R concept. You think you can bring up more R's: refuse, repair, refurbish, reuse, recycle. There are many R's which you can add, keep on adding. It used to be 3R and it has become 5R. Now the concept has come for 8Rs. I have given the 8Rs. Next. What all kind of this bird diversity, biodiversity, tree diversity, or all kind of diversity you can increase in your vicinity or within your complex. As an institution, you can do. Next. You can do these 8 things to protect in the vicinity, to increase the biodiversity, and to protect our livelihood. If you save your soil, that is what the madam told. If you save the soil, you save the nation. Like that, for saving the soil, these 8 things you can do within your complex, and also adopt your neighborhood and try to do these things in the neighborhood also. Next. I need not tell, a fully grown tree sequesters 10 to 12 kilograms of carbon dioxide every year. The next few slides, I have given statistics about how much carbon dioxide each of our small activity we are going to save. Next. If we replace the bulb with the conventional tube light or through CFL or LED, we go to the maximum extent of 3 to 27 trees equivalent carbon dioxide emissions we will reduce. That is equivalent to 37 to 278 kilograms of carbon dioxide saved per year. Needless to say, we are saving the cost also by consuming lesser electricity. Next. Bulbs, if we replace bulbs, 5 bulbs, if we replace with conventional CFL, then it is going to save 37 kilogram of energy. If we going to save with T8 or T5 tube light, then it will save anywhere between 278 kilogram of energy. That means cost saved as per 2014 cost is this much per year, and that is equivalent to 3 to 27 trees planted. If you replace bulbs, if you replace bulbs with CFL, that is also equivalent to the similar amount. If you are replacing bulbs with CFL, that is equivalent to this much of amount of power saving as well as CO2 saving. You are saving 5-star refrigerator, you are replacing one, then you are going to save 101 kilogram of carbon dioxide per year. That will save 730 per year rupees, and that is equivalent to almost 10 trees that you have planted. Next. Like that, I have AC, 5-star AC, if 1.5 tons AC versus a 2-star AC. that gives around 200 kilogram of carbon dioxide emissions are saved every year. That is equivalent to 1,500 rupees of 2014 cost of energy, and that is equivalent to 19 trees that you have planted. Similarly, if you are replacing 5-star fans, that is going to save around 46 kilogram of carbon dioxide per year per fan. If you are replacing solar 5 tube light and then you 3 fans for 300 days, then you are saving 61 trees, or you are avoiding 620 kilogram of carbon dioxide emissions. If you are installing 1 kilowatt solar photovoltaic and solar inverter that consumes, which is otherwise 1,000 kilo, that will save 1,000 grams of 1,000 kilogram of carbon dioxide. So only purchase inverter only if it is advised by the manufacturer, not to go by the agency which sells the product. See for the manual and then look for whether inverter or the power backup is required. Then you have it. Next. Like that solar water heater, how much it saves and how much trees that is equivalent, that I have given. Go solar, if you are installing 640 kilogram of power, then that is saving how much of carbon dioxide and how much of energy is saved, how much power is saved, that I have given. And then solar inverter power, that next. See, do not buy voltage stabilizer. 1 kilowatt of voltage stabilizer emits 400 kilogram of CO2 every year, because it is on 365 days. So only go for solar voltage stabilizer unless otherwise it is recommended by the manufacturer. If it is not recommended by the manufacturer, please do not purchase a voltage stabilizer. Your electric and electronic gadgets will not get affected. Next. Like that geyser, reduce the temperature to 60 degrees. From 60 degrees, you reduce to 40 degrees and take bath in quick succession. If you are in the family, ask them all of them to take one after the other, so that a frequent switch on and switch off of geyser is not required. Similarly, the microwave oven, heat at one point of time and then eat everybody together. That is possible in the morning and in the night in all the cities. So try to make it as a habit rather than using microwave or the gas every now and then and reheat it. And then solar inverter, you can go for it. That also avoids huge carbon dioxide emissions. Next. I have tried to give certain other things also here for CFL and tube light and also for LED. Next. Star-related appliances, it is given in the histogram form. Next. So we can go to the last slide. Like this, I have tried to give for different things. So I am through with my presentation. So here, what I wanted to stress upon to the audience here is, it is not that a rocket science, I have told something relating to rocket science or high technology using you have to refer to dictionary or to Google to find out words. I have not used any of those things. I have tried to give 60 different ideas which are implementable at our respective homes and at our respective institutions. If we do this and we quantify this, even schools are being now rated by NIRF, I think so, like that of colleges. And green schools ranking is also there by either TERI or Center for Science and Environment and a number of other agencies. If you implement these 60 odd ideas which I have thrown up and keep a competition among the students, they will come up with much more better ideas than these ideas. In addition to these ideas, try to implement these ideas and disseminate these ideas in different forums. You have made my day, and I have made make a difference person and make a different session. So thank you very much for the Heartcare Foundation of India, especially to Dr. Anil and to Sapna and to Susha Roy, and also to all my co-hosts and to the respected teachers who are there, more than 100 participants I am seeing in this meeting itself, and also to all the audience who are witnessing this live at the YouTube and Facebook. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Be a mad person and promote mad things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dwarkanath ji, for a wonderful presentation. Really down to earth, I can say. And this is time for action. That was, we call it. We have sufficient, at least in Delhi government. We were about 20 years, more than 20 years. आप थे, हम थे, Dr. BC Sabata थे, तीन लोग हम लोग तो काफी 20 साल तो करीब रहे हैं.
Today morning I took 3 hours for the management students.
Okay, sir. So
this is
you
the fourth session I am having today.
So great, sir. We are doing a great service. So that's what we have already done in the Delhi government with the eco clubs and the different programs, the school programs and other programs, lead eco clubs and other things. So we have done that. Though we all three are retired, but we're doing our best service too. So that's why thank you from Dr. KK, Heart Fund Summit India. Thank you again to our Dwarkanath sir. Now I request, I think we can take 1 or 2 questions because already we're going to 5 o'clock. So I'll hand over to Dr. Agni ma'am. If you can take 1 or 2 questions, then finally to Susha Roy madam for a vote of thanks.
One request, please circulate to all the participants my presentation.
Yeah.
The knowledge which is not shared is of no use. So being teachers, all of you use this presentation wherever possible and disseminate this information. If you want,
sir, already in the link, if your link is circulated to all the presentations, there everything there. So Sapna, I'll request you can send to all the link to all the schools, particularly whoever participating. Then they can further, the principal and teacher can further circulate to the students so that they can done. So over to Dr. Agni ma'am.
I think there is some confusion, but yes, definitely. I think the audience needs to know a little more about Dr. Anil Kumar, sir. You've been very, very modest, I think, but the audience, those of us who have been a continuous part of this, Heartcare Foundation journey know each other well. But I think those of us who have joined us today for the first time should know that, our very own Dr. Anil Kumar is a PhD from IIT. And he has served the government of India for more than 20 years at various senior positions, including 10 years as Director Environment and Member Secretary.
Just to correct this, Government of Delhi actually. I am in Government of India.
Okay, Government of Delhi for more than 20 years at various senior positions, including I think 10 years as Director Environment and Member Secretary Delhi Pollution Control Committee. And you have been a globetrotter, sir, because I was going through your profile this morning once again. And after globetrotting for n number of years related to his research and work, he's currently Director, Heartcare Foundation of India, a dream project and a baby of our revered Dr. KK Agarwal ji. Dr. Dwarkanath ji, I think I had a question, then others can follow in. I had a question, but I think one of your slides already has given me an answer to it. It was, now that we are majorly aware of the disasters or the aftermaths of global warming and its reasons, what is the way forward so that no further catastrophes are faced by the human race? But I think one of your slides, if you could just shortly just sum it up once again for the audience.
See, disasters or natural phenomena, many of them are man-made also. When the population and developmental pressure increases, especially in the developing countries like India, China, and Africa, all developmental pressures for our own development, for our habitation, for our basic needs, health, infrastructure, and also our navigation, within land navigation and bigger infrastructural projects, destroying trees and then cutting trees and also destroying nature is bound to happen. There is no second opinion about it. What best we can do is how to mitigate and minimize the effect, adverse effect. Because, why industrialization happened in Asia? Look at it from a historical perspective. Because all in 1940s and 50s, all the thermal power plants we had and all the textile mills we had outdated technology given to us by West. When they transported the technology to India, they upgraded themselves to a better technology. But it was very much costly for them, for the control of technology, and also for the manpower had become much more costly. So they were looking for cheaper options. Cheaper option is give the technology to the third world country, and then where labor is cheap, you extract work and then import their product. That is why in global negotiations, now we are talking about where to account for export and import emissions. There should be a mechanism for importing. For example, all our textiles are exported. More than 50% of leather products, what we are doing, processing, everything, all dirty, polluting processing, we are doing it. Semi-finished leather we are exporting, and the same finished leather comes to here as Park Avenue and as Lee Gucci and as high leather, high design. It comes from foreign country to us, and without application of mind, we are also purchasing it. So this will, the exploitation of third world countries with outdated technology is a planned manner of West. They have succeeded in doing it in Asian countries. China, they can't do anything because it is a different type of a political system is there. They can't enter. They have done the same thing with India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all these countries. Now they have gone to African nations. Raymond's has installed a 2,000-ton plant producing garments in Africa, Addis Ababa. So they are now under the judicial activism and the NGO activism and the people awareness level in Asian countries have gone up. In 20, 30 years, it has gone up. Now they need to spend the same amount of money or even higher amount of money for manufacturing in India. So now they are slowly shifting their base to other countries. So this is bound to happen. Any government, any prime minister, be it political system or a tyranny or whichever prime minister comes, this will bound to happen. Collectively, what we can try to do is think locally and try to act locally. Whatever little bit things that we can able to do, we should do.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you,
Thank
because you are resonating with the thoughts of our very honorable Prime Minister, you know, Narendra Modi ji, who keeps saying it very often, you know, we have to think local because that's the way out. Yeah. Thank you for your
Also,
input.
madam, I am normally using one word. Normally, it used to be earlier just CSR. That's corporate social responsibility. We just call it. This is a
Yes.
any company or thing that corporate social. But
Yes.
now time has come to for IER. We use that
Individual
individual
social
environmental responsibility. IER, we have to the word for everybody. The IER must be up to in our system. That was the. This is individual environmental responsibility that come within us. That was the.
Very,
We
very
have to
good.
accordingly. We have to act that way.
So for climate care for children, I have only 3 advices. I am not getting into the public health domain of doctors. Let them have shoe-free and tie-free days in summer. As much as possible in the schools, have a campaign on this. It is your own children, madam.
Yes.
All of our children have studied in Delhi. I lived for 20, 30, almost close to 25 years. I lived in Delhi. I know Delhi's summer and Delhi's winter. In winter, don't ask anybody wear a mask. At least you will be, you will escape from particulate pollution. Whether government gives health advisory or not. Wherever possible, when you are outdoor, try to wet your mask or handkerchief to some extent and then try to hold it.
Yes. Little efforts matter.
In traffic junctions and in congested areas when you have to do. It is after all our health.
True, true.
अरे मेरे को वो देख लेंगे तो क्या बताएंगे, मेरा चेहरा नहीं दिखेगा, ये सब तो अपना थिंकिंग है. ये थिंकिंग जब हम बीमार हो जाएंगे कोई देखने वाला नहीं है. जब बीमार हो जाएंगे उस टाइम we have to see our own self in a mirror.
No, but I think now you don't have to worry about how we are looking also, because with the designer masks blocking
Yes.
the markets, it's
Yes.
again a fashion statement
Fashion
now.
statement has come.
Yes, it's
But,
a fashion
but a
statement.
caution, all those masks may not prevent
Yes, absolutely.
pollutant and
absolutely.
the
Not effective at all.
pathogens. So
Yeah,
that is a caution.
That's true. Thank you, Dr. Dwarkanathji. My next question we can take from Mrs. Neeraj Vora. Ma'am, can I request you for your question on behalf of the audience so that we feel a little more empowered? Are you there? Ma'am Neeraj Vora, is she there? Sapna, is she there?
No, ma'am, no.
Okay,
I think
okay.
Madam Roy can take some
Yeah,
one
I
or two
can
questions,
see
then
Mrs.
propose
Roy
vote of
there.
thanks.
Yeah, Mrs. Roy.
Thank you, Ragini ma'am. In fact, a child, a student of mine, I think for some reason has had to log out of the session. So he has specifically WhatsApped me a message to ask in this session, which I will ask. The child has asked that Sir had mentioned, shown one of the slides on the green purchase policy. And he says that, ma'am, I saw up to toothpaste and my network just went off. So can you please ask Sir, what exactly did he mean by the green purchase policy and how can I implement it in my own house?
See, they have to look for the content in the soap or the paste or especially the kajal that they use.
Okay.
This kajal is one thing which is directly absorbed in the eye and it goes into your system. Anything black, you take it from us, it is either lead or cadmium.
I think all the ladies here need to watch out for this.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah.
See, God has been created. God has created everything beautifully. There is nothing to be added more. That too, which is going to affect your own health.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So
that is what is required to be taken to the heart. When I speak, I always speak with emotions because, unless otherwise you emotionally connect with the issue, we will never implement it. मैं तो मेरा बीवी को भी बोल रहा हूँ मेरे को हेयर डे मत लगाओ सुनती नहीं है मैं क्या करूँ
as the poet has rightly said that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, So these are all superficial things. Yes.
Green purchase policy means wherever you can completely avoid those things, or otherwise if you have to necessarily use it, go for eco-friendly product. Don't go for the lowest product. Or somebody is endorsing, this cricketer is endorsing, or this heroine is endorsing. Don't go by the face value of endorsement. They are not selling the product to the maximum extent. That is why crores and crores of rupees they are giving to the celebrity to sell this product.
True.
But they may not be using that.
And that is another issue. Nobody uses the same product. But if the market is good, they themselves will come. The manufacturer himself will come in the advertisement. That shows the confidence. If he is confident about his product, he will come on his own. He doesn't need Amitabh Bachchan or Sachin Tendulkar to endorse the product.
Agree.
He will tell, I have confidence, 100% confidence on my product. I am using it and it has given me positive impact. That confidence, other than only one or two brands, we are not seeing it.
Totally agree, sir.
So, green purchase policy is thinking loud, not going for the lowest or for the brand value. That is the green purchase policy.
I'll pass on this message to him.
And avoiding completely use and throw products.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Now I think Madam can propose vote of thanks because already 5:15.
Yeah, I think we need to wind up. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you very much, sir. So I'll propose a vote of thanks and begin. In fact, we have been talking about the climate change, if you notice, just over the last few years. But this has been on the mind of poets for, many, many years before we even started speaking aloud about it. So, in fact, I will just quote a few lines from May Swenson's poem, which was published around, I think, 1987, if I'm not mistaken, where she says, barrels of garbage for water rats to pick through, barrels of garbage for water rats to pick through. So goodbye, golden eye, and grave and scarp and loom. Goodbye morning walks beside the tide tinkling, among clean pebbles, blue mussel shells and snail shells that look like staring eyeballs. Goodbye kingfisher, little green black-crowned heron, snowy egret, and goodbye, O faithful pair of swans that used to glide, God and goddess shapes of purity over the white water. Thank you very much, sir, for the amazing and very, very enriching and eye-opener of a session that you have given us, sir. I have no words to express. Your slides, they were so to the point, so clear, so impactful. I'm yet to come across such an amazing, presentation. I am totally into this. And I know for sure I'm one of the ambassadors. I'm sure Ragini ma'am and other co-hosts of ours and all the audience are from this moment, if they have not yet started on many of the areas that you have spoken, because I know as representative of schools, we are already doing a lot, but yet there is so many other ways that we can continue implementing what you have said, sir. And I really love that poem, the Tamil poem that you had, read out a few lines, which was translated into English about, before asking what the government or nation has done for us, one needs to think, what have I done? Which is so true, sir. We are so much into blame game that we forget that you, I, our children, our entire ecosystem play a very, very valuable role. We don't need to point a finger at them. We can be the trendsetters and they will automatically follow. After all, what is the government? It's made by us only. So it's very important that we be there. And another thing, sir, the mail system, that was quite an eye-opener. To be very honest, I personally never thought about the trail mails, because I think in schools, that's something which normally happens, especially with parents when they send something, you reply, then they reply on it, and it goes on as a trail mail. And this has been quite an eye-opener, sir. So thank you for that, what you told me. And switching off.
Only one more thing.
Yes,
adding
sir.
to that, forwarding memes and unnecessary
Yes.
good morning and good night messages.
Absolutely.
Every MB data, it emits around 20 grams of carbon dioxide.
Absolutely. So that's really, really quite an eye-opener. And I'm sure that especially the youngsters who are on this audience today, they're going to learn. I'm sure we all, the adults, of course, but the youngsters especially. I hope all of you, dear audience, you're going to learn what sir has told us and let us all change. Recycling of paper is something I think all of us in the school industry are doing. And so do we. I don't think the use and throw cutleries also we're not using. But thank you, sir, especially for talking about, I really love that special point you talk about writing e-invitation, or e-invitation has become a trend today. But I loved your idea about invitation on a handkerchief. That not only says an invitation card, a cutting of paper, but then we also go across saving tissue papers that can be given.
And the person to whom you have given will cherish it, and they
Yes,
will
sir.
use it.
Exactly, sir.
It will not go to the dustbin. It will not go to the dustbin.
Absolutely. So, sir, thank you so much for those amazing ideas that you gave. And I really, animals are very close to my heart. I'm sure it's to every one of us out here. So thank you for the amazing idea of putting plastic packets into plastic bottles before throwing them. Because it's so true. So many animals die because of the consumption of plastics that's happening big time. So let us, instead of just saying Gau Mata ki Jai, let us actually save the Gau Matas by stopping the use of plastic. And if at all we are having to use, let us at least put it in a plastic bottle before we throw it. So thank you, sir, for this absolutely amazing session. Thank you, Dr. Anil Kumar, for the beautiful, you started the introduction giving us so many valuable points, followed by Dwarkanathji's amazing presentation. Thank you so much, Ragini ma'am, for the way you have been moderating. Amazing. It's an honor to be co-hosting the session with you, ma'am. And thank you to, I think Neeraj ma'am is not there. She somehow must have logged out. Maybe there's some network issue. So in absentia, thank you to her also. And thank you to this wonderful, wonderful audience for being with us. And let us all take a pledge, dear ones, that from this moment, we follow the path that has been set forward by Dwarkanathji. Thank you, Heartcare Foundation of India.
Not me, madam. Over the years, we have also learned. I have tried to put it in a nutshell. That's all.
Absolutely, sir. But the Eco Club is something you have started. So there's no second say that you have set the ball rolling, sir, in the schools of the state. So that's an amazing thing. So let's all get together and actually make this a reality. And let us also pledge to go local. That's so important. Like Ragini ma'am was talking about Narendra Modiji's clarion call to go local. Let us all, become united in this front. So thank you for this amazing session. And thank you, Heart Care Foundation,
Thank
for this awesome, super awesome session that you have set out for us. So Jai Hind.